Okay, good morning. Why am I saying good morning? Because we're going to be talking about morning routine. Gosh, it's such a juicy topic out there, and there seems to be a new trend for morning routine very, very frequently. I'm going to keep this really, really simple. The irony in this video is that I'm actually filming this at night, fairly late for me. I've had a really, really full day and I've just finished teaching my beautiful yin and yoga nidra in my studio Yoga Veda here in Adelaide. And so I don't normally get to film in this space, but the way the day's gone, I'm like, that's going to be the time I'm going to get my video shot. So we have to make it work. So that's why it's a little bit of a different space. And it kind of works because with the lighting in here, you can imagine that it's early morning. So use your imagination as you see fit. Now, I'm going to give you 5 tips because I could really go on for quite a long time about the optimal morning routine. I'm going to break it down to 5 things, and 5 things that you probably aren't expecting me to actually say for morning routine, because we've all heard a lot of it before. We know a lot of the things that we should be doing, but we're not necessarily actually doing them. So let's start with tip number 1 for cultivating your optimal morning routine. Tip number 1 is hydrate. Yes, hydrate. So you think about it, it seems really obvious. You've actually spent several hours sleeping in a bed, potentially overheating, potentially in heating or air conditioning and drying out your body. And potentially you actually were a bit dehydrated when you even went to bed. If you've had a salty dinner, if you've just not drunk much fluid in the evening, if you accumulated dehydration through your day, if you work in an air conditioning environment, you're not good at keeping up with your water, you are going to bed dehydrated, you are definitely going to wake up super dehydrated. And dehydration is not our natural state. We are almost 70% water. We are meant to be hydrated. So start your morning this way. It will really reduce things like brain fog and sluggishness, and it's a really, really optimal thing that you can do that is so simple. It can be fancy or not fancy, just get water in ya. So how can you do this? My personal preference is I like to have warm water because it's closer to body temperature. In Ayurveda, you should never be drinking cold water anyway. It actually dilutes your digestive fire. So we don't really want to be doing that, particularly in the cold months. Warm water is great. So I will actually fill my jug up, my electric kettle, and I will start bringing it to a warmer temperature. I don't let it boil, obviously, I just switch it off. In my very large glass, at least 600 mils, please folks, I put lemon because I love lemon juice and I really like the flavor it gives to my water. It starts my body with an alkaline start to the day. That's a whole other video, which I'll talk about one day. Maybe remind me in future. Also, a recent thing that I've started doing for probably about a year is I actually add Himalayan salt to my water. I'm Vata body type, partly, and so I'm prone to dehydration and I'm prone to being sort of light and needing some grounding. So for me, adding salt into my water is actually really beneficial. It also adds salt back into my body and helps my body hold onto the water better that I'm ingesting. And it gets really, really quite normalized over time. Your palate adjusts and it softens the tart lemon flavor if you don't enjoy that. You don't have to scull the water down, but that is how you want to start and get that water into you. So that's tip number 1. Super simple. Tip number 2 is sun exposure. Yes, a doctor telling you to get out in the sun, but in the safe hours. So why is sun exposure important first thing in the morning? You want to get that dawn light into your retinas, people, that will stimulate your brain to stimulate cortisol. Doc, I'm already stressed. What are you talking about? Rubbish. We want cortisol in the morning. Cortisol is designed to peak at around 6 a.m. to coincide with that dawn light to actually wake you up and get you going. It's a stress hormone. It's a stimulating hormone. We want that in the morning. The most natural way to get cortisol at the appropriate time is to actually expose our retinas, our eyes, to that first dawn light in the morning. So do that. Get some light into your eyes. A way that you can do that is tip number 3. We want some movement. Now, this is about yangifying your morning. Yang is the stimulating aspect in the yin-yang cycle. And yang is building up to noon. So yang is the first half of our day, yin is the second half of our day. So when we're wanting to really amp up, and that's what we want in the morning, the first half of the day, movement is really great to do in the morning, particularly first thing. Ideally outside, get that natural dawn light into your face, Move your body. I don't care what you do. Walk the dog, do some yoga, jog, run, go to an early morning fitness class, meet a friend and have a bit of a walk. Just move, because you're actually moving. Your lymph fluid through your body helps to detoxify you. It's stimulating your body. And if you're trying to lose weight, actually moving your body before breakfast is a good thing to do. So get moving out in that natural light. That's 3 points. Number 4. Same time to rise. We want to rise at the same time every day. Now, this one gets a little bit stale. We all know this. We hear it time and time again. It's super hard to fit into our lives because we have social lives. Some nights we're up a little bit later, therefore we want to sleep in a bit on the weekends. But I promise you, give this a go, even for 2 to 3 weeks. Just commit. Irrespective of what you want to be doing on the weekends, commit to get up at the same time every single day. And if you really, really want to do it properly, you've got to follow the guide of the Yogis. The Yogis knew, they had that ancient wisdom that getting up between 4 and 6 a.m., this is like the golden time. There is something magical about that time in the morning. It's actually helping you to be up before the sun rises so you can get that dawn light into your face. And you are so productive when you wake up at this time. And it's got to do with the traditional Chinese medicine clock as well. If you push past that 6 a.m., you're actually more likely to be a little bit more sluggish. You've missed that golden hour where you're at your best. So give that a go. Try this for a few weeks. You definitely have to prioritize going to bed at night to make this work for you. But I challenge you, just give it a try. You've got absolutely nothing to lose except amazing benefits. If it doesn't work for you, chuck it out, move on, try something else. The 5th is a weird one. And I've got to throw a weird one in because it's to be expected on my channel. A little bit of mainstream, a little bit of cuckoo weird stuff. And this was one that I was really resistant to myself, and it's tongue scraping. Yes, people. So this is also an ancient Ayurvedic practice. Tongue scraping. Traditionally, they use a copper tongue scraper. It's like a horseshoe shaped device, and copper is really good because it's very detoxifying, antibacterial, antifungal, and it's very, very resistant to degradation, and it's very, very safe for the body. It's very appropriate to use with the body. So with a tongue scraper, the idea is that you get on and you literally scrape your tongue in the morning, and you want to do that before you've ingested anything. In Ayurveda, the body detoxifies overnight, and the body releases toxins in a whole range of ways, predominantly through your water pathways, so out your urine, your feces, your sweat. And then beyond that, you get this incredible benefit of the tongue detoxifying. So armor. So you're actually producing a coating of armor on the top of your tongue, and that's what you're scraping off. You're detoxifying your body. If you leave that coating there in the morning and you start ingesting things, then you're basically reintroducing that toxicity back into your body where you don't want it to be. So tongue scraping, that's number 5. It's a little out there. Adopt the other 4 if you want. See how you go. This is not complicated, guys. I'm not making this really difficult. Try a few of these things out. Your optimal morning routine is in there somewhere. Give a few of these things a go and let me know how you go. Next week, we'll be moving on to another aspect of creating your optimal routine blueprint. I hope you join me then. Catch you soon.